Hey everyone, my name's Haley Nagasaki. I'm the editor of Grow Opportunity, and I would like to provide a chronological year review of Canada's cannabis market in 2022. So I became the editor of Grow Opportunity on May 10th, about halfway through this year, which also happened to be the same day as the OCS data breach scandal, where confidential information had been made public. So the security breach afforded an unfair competitive advantage to some while disadvantaging others through the release of widespread financial data. We saw a couple of C3 events this year, the Cannabis Council of Canada, including Grass on the Hill in Ottawa during the final days of May. At this event, we saw a push for the excise tax revision and of note calling the OCS markup of products on top of the tax insult to injury. Throughout the year, the cannabis industry eagerly awaited the Cannabis Act review, which did not actually occur until late September. However, at the end of July, Health Canada released a report by the Science Advisory Committee regarding a review of public access to health products containing CBD. The main headline from this report was that CBD would become over-the-counter for humans as well as animals through to dispensing in pharmacies and veterinary clinics. Government is now establishing regulations to be seen in the coming months and years with the new categorization of CBD as cannabis health product. In August, the OCS was hit again by adversary when a cyber attack halted deliveries, which continues to raise the question of the integrity of their security. Alas, on September 22nd, the Cannabis Act review took place, and amazingly, the topics of excise tax reform and THC potency limits of edibles were not touched. Instead, the review will focus on the health and cannabis consumption habits of young people, the impact of cannabis on Indigenous persons, the impact of home growing, and more broadly, the Act's socioeconomic impacts as well as deterring the illicit market. The panel will engage with the public in order to gather their perspectives, and the ministers will be required to provide a report on this review by March of 2025. In October, the second C3 Grass on the Hill event took place on the 4th anniversary of legalization, October 17th and 18th in Ottawa, where the industry came together to call for, quote, immediate relief in the face of crisis, citing the loss of jobs, investments, and economic renewal, should strides not be taken at the level of government for excise reform and efforts to stamp out the legacy market. Still, many believe that the increased costs of production and regulatory fees are a result of the remaining stigma against this industry. Restrictions are expected to loosen, but it becomes a matter of who will actually be around by the time this happens, and this is a point that was made by George Smitherman, CEO of C3 at Grow Up in Niagara. In November, many from the Canadian cannabis industry ventured to Las Vegas for MJ-BizCon, which was their largest assembly to date. It was a massive show. It reminded me a little bit of the legacy market, some of the shows here in Canada. The vibe was very Wild West, and I imagine that it's going to continue to reel itself in as the regulations progress. At the conference, there were plenty of discussions surrounding the international markets, using Canada as a cautionary tale of what not to do. There's still a ton of buzz surrounding psychedelic revolution with events like Remind, similar to the Psychedelic Summit that was hosted here in Canada this year. Of note is the forward momentum of psilocybin and MDMA research. The psilocybin brick and mortars popping up, feeling very cannabis industry from 2015 and 16, and the use of ketamine in medical clinics in Canada and the United States. On December 2nd, Health Canada also announced a change to the regulations, including an amendment to the legal possession of cannabis-infused beverages to 48 standardized cans, and just in time for the holidays and CIB's busiest time of year, which reminds me, the topic of sustainability was brought to the forefront this year as crippling natural disasters hit all over North America and the world. As an extension of that, we see the cost of production go through the roof, where 2/3 of this industry actually operated beneath pandemic conditions when costs were much lower. We're now witnessing that exponential increase from power to hardware and the problems that ensue. So as we teeter on global recession, whilst experiencing the great resignation post-pandemic and consequent employment gaps, on top of an unsettled climate, we're truly living in those interesting times. All of these mounting tensions are intimately tied to the cannabis industry, one that is traditionally white and male, which is why DEI was a major topic of discussion this year at each of the events, and why we both demand and celebrate the increased presence of women in this space, BIPOC-owned and operated businesses, and the protection of marginalized communities. So that is our review for 2022. We're going to follow with a 2023 market trend predictions, and I just want to take this moment to thank the industry at large, to those who have taken the time to meet and speak with us, to our contributors all of the fantastic connections that I made this year. We wish you all a very warm, happy holiday season from myself and the entire team at Grow Opportunity.